Hey, what's going on, shrimp keepers? It is Rob with Flip Aquatics, and this past week, about a week ago, we were robbed. A guy came into the warehouse and he stole a lot of tools that actually didn't even belong to me. It belonged to a guy that helps us out all the time. And it's just a bad situation, and the community really came together and helped us out. Well, today we actually confronted the thief, and it didn't go at all how I had planned. So you guys just need to watch the video to believe it for yourselves, but we did get it all on camera. So
hey guys, I'm here with Patrick. You guys are familiar with Patrick. We've been talking about him a little bit. I'm here with Mark. You know, we got some of the tools back, and so Patrick manned up and he came over here to talk to us. And so I just want to hear a little bit from Patrick. I know he wants to apologize to Mark, and we've been talking for a little bit a while, but I'll just kind of let you take it away, Patrick.
You know what, I did something I wasn't supposed to do. This gentleman's been good to me. Anytime I ever need anything, he's always been there for me. And I was dealing with a bad drug problem at the time, and I came and I did something I shouldn't have did. I stole from him. And when I went back home, I felt bad about it, and I caught wind that the police was probably wanting to come and talk to me. And at that point, I still didn't even care. I talked to my girl about it. She told me, well, you shouldn't even go by there and talk to him. I said, listen, you know, this guy's been good to me. If I was man enough to go and take this man's tools from him, I'm man enough to come and tell this man that I took his tools and try to work it out with him. I came here today to help this man get his tools back, and I come to apologize for everything that I've ever done to these guys.
Well, thank you, Patrick.
And I'm just blessed to be around some good people, because I know if it was anybody else, the police would probably been here.
Yeah.
But I just want to apologize for what I did. And you don't do things to people that's good to you. You don't hurt them.
Well, really, you shouldn't.
And I hurt myself by
yeah.
I did.
I know.
I hurt myself by doing what I did.
Yeah.
So I just want to apologize to Mark and everybody else here.
Thank you.
Your business, everything. You know what I'm saying? Because I was wrong.
Thank you for that. And Patrick, and thank you, man. I really do appreciate you coming down here, because
I'm sorry, man.
No, man, and like I told you, man, it hurt me. Like, it really does, because like I really care about you. Like, I don't want you winding up dead or something. And the life you're going down isn't a good one.
Even when I got out of prison, when I saw you, it's like, Patrick, you know, you doing okay? How's things going? You know, I know you're a good person.
Thank you.
And you know, for me to take advantage of that,
yeah.
You know, because I'm a good person. If somebody takes advantage, you know, if he had did that to me and him be fighting right now.
Yeah.
If he took from me, so you know, it's just, I just need to get my life together.
Yeah.
And I figured by starting by doing this.
Yeah. Now, what are you going to do for me? We talked about you.
I'm going these recovery classes like you told me.
Yep. You're going to come to my church, and I can even come with you. I'm more than fine to do that.
Okay.
I really want you to get it together. And like Ken said, Ken's here too. And Ken said the biggest thing is you have to want to get better. Like, you really do, because if you don't want to, it's never going to change. And you know, whether this situation happens or another situation, one situation is going to end up putting you back in jail, or you're going to wind up dead.
I think this is a good start.
It is a good start.
Where else are you going to find people who are going to treat you like this?
If I had walked in there and got shot or anything. But you know what? This is a good start.
Yep.
And the person you see now, hopefully, he'll be a better person the next time you take this test.
Yep. Amen.
And
Thank you.
There's a ton of backstory that you guys don't know that you really need to know. So first of all, it was Patrick. It was the guy that I was talking about, and this is a guy that I've paid to help us around the warehouse. That when he needed money, I would give it to him, and he was just a guy that was just living on the streets. You know, really didn't have much, and just had a hard go at it. We had him on camera, and I was pretty sure it was him. So we went to a flea market where I know that he goes. We showed the picture to the people there, and they confirmed that was him, and so they were going to be on the lookout for him. Needless to say, he found out that they caught him, or that we knew that it was him, and so instantly, I'm sure he started panicking, and so that was probably 4 days ago. And so today, what happened was Mark was working at the warehouse with us. It was around 7 o'clock. He leaves, and he comes back like 10 minutes later, and I'm like, what are you doing back? And he's like, read this, and he hands me a note. And on this note, it basically said, It was like, hey Rob, this is Patrick, please call me, and it gave his phone number, and he's like, I really did you wrong, and I'm so sorry, and I really messed up, and I really want to make it up to you. And then he said, please call me again, and gave his phone number again, and said thank you so much, and then signed his name Patrick. And so instantly, like, my heart sunk, because I didn't want to believe that it was Patrick, but I kind of knew it was. So I called the number, and I started talking to him, and just telling him how sad I am that he would do that to us. And you know, he's apologizing, barely letting me get any words in. And I asked him, I was like, do you still have the tools? And he said no, he sold them to a guy, and he said the guy, he tried to get him back off the guy, and the guy he sold him for $40, and the guy wanted $100. And so, you know, the tools are worth $700. So I'm like, Patrick, listen, if you can get a hold of this guy, I am more than willing to pay $100 to this guy to get the tools back. Like, more than willing. And so he's like, okay, let me call you right back. So he calls me back, and he's like, hey, the guy actually wants $120. You know, he increased the price, and I'm just like, you know, that's kind of sketchy. And then Patrick's like, hey, I'm gonna come down to the warehouse, and then your tools are you know, I left them in an abandoned house, and you can come with me and get the tools. And I'm just like in my mind, I'm thinking, I thought this guy bought the tools. So it's just like not making any sense to me. So instantly I'm just like, hey Patrick, you go to the abandoned house by yourself, you check to see if the tools are there, and then come to the warehouse. And so we hang up, and instantly, like, I'm panicking, like, I'm like, Mark, do we call the police and let them know? And I really want to get the tools back, and I really didn't want to get Patrick in trouble. I wanted to have a conversation with him first. And so I'm just like, let's call Ken. Ken has a concealed carry license and always has a gun with him. And so I call Ken. I'm like, Ken, I need you down here, just to be our backup, like if something goes south, because you just never know. Like, people have been commenting, like, when you're dealing with addicts, you never know what they're capable of, because they're really capable of anything. Say me and Mark are waiting outside, all of a sudden Patrick comes up and instantly just starts apologizing, admits to what he does. Ken ends up getting there, and Ken's been around addicts. He's been around people that have sold drugs. He's seen that world. He instantly just gives some tough love to this Patrick and lays into it, and really, I mean, I gotta commend Ken. He really did a great job. And he said the things that needed to be said, and he said them in a way that wasn't bad, but it was how it had to be. Patrick ends up getting this guy that had the tools to come down to the warehouse. It turns out that there was only a portion of the tools, like just the tools that were the power tools. There was no fittings really, and the fittings is where most of the money was. Like, there's like $500 in fittings, $400 or $500 in fittings. That's why he said he had to go back to the abandoned house, because he left the bag with all the fittings in it there. Because he didn't want to look suspicious carrying around a bag, and so he took as many tools as he could and shoved them up his sweatshirt, and then sold them to this other guy. And so that's kind of how that all happened. We did get back the tools, as you guys saw in the video, and I've ended up paying $60 for them. It was $20 more than what he had sold them for, but in my mind it was $20 extra, just to kind of give these guys a little bit of money, because they didn't have to bring them back. They could have just said, screw you, like, these tools are worth $200, like, I'm not bringing them back. Glad it worked out, and we got it back. And the cool thing is that Patrick, I truly believe he's sorry. Now granted, everyone's sorry when they get caught, but I truly believe that Patrick's sorry. The law changes action, but the gospel changes hearts. And I feel like that's so true. Like, the law does dictate your actions, because you act a certain way because there's laws, but it really comes down to a heart issue. And with Patrick, I feel like he does have a good heart, but it's not in the right place. And so if we can potentially save his heart and turn his heart around, then it's all worth it. Sure, we could lock him up for 3 or 4 years or whatever, but he's gonna get out and he's just gonna keep doing it. Like, you know, hard time really doesn't change much to some people. And so my thought is, if I can get him involved in a program, so if I can get him involved in Celebrate Recovery at the church I go to, and he can commit to that, and then by an act of God, he can have his heart changed, and his life turns around. Now you have someone that didn't serve the time, but because of that, because of their heart change, now all of a sudden they're not affecting other people. They're not out there stealing from other people. They're not doing bad. They're doing good. And so that's really what I'm going for. I'm going for a home run, a grand slam, and hopefully it pays off and Patrick can turn his life around, because that's what I'm in the business of. I mean, you guys know this, like, I'm in the business of love. Like, I love you guys, and truthfully, it really makes me tear up because, you know, I did everything for this Patrick, and to have him do what he did, it really, really hurts. It really does. And the crazy thing is, and if you guys are still watching, I so appreciate you guys and love you guys so much. But the truth of the matter is that no thief returns what they were stolen. That takes some guts. It takes a lot of guts to steal something, but it takes a lot more to go to the people that you stole it from, return it, and apologize. Like that, you just don't hear that, and that's why this story is so beautiful. I'm just so thankful for you guys and the support that you've given, and the support you've given to Mark too, and I hope you can give your support to this Patrick, because I really want him to turn his life around, and I really want him to make a change for the better, and I want him to want to make a change for the better, and I feel like he really does. And so that's where I'm at, guys. That was my Tuesday, and it's been an emotional roller coaster for me. But you know, it's the silver lining, and I always talk about it. There's always bad situations, but there's always something good that you can pull from them. And you know, we didn't get all the tools back, but we got some of them back, and hopefully we saved someone's life. And so that's where I'm at on this Tuesday evening. I hope you all are making it an amazing Wednesday. Much love from me to you guys, from this side of the camera to that side of the camera. Much love from me. You guys make it a great week, and I'll talk with you guys soon.